Hello. Welcome to 2023. I'm here just as a quick catch up because I have not made a video in a minute and wanted to make sure to let you know some of the things that are upcoming, but also what I've been up to and check in on you and what your energy is feeling into 2023. Sounds good, right? Somehow it just feels good to leave 2022 behind. Not that it wasn't a great year, but because we're feeling that new energy already. And one thing about me is part of why I haven't been creating content is because I have been in reflection mode. And I have always been a proponent, so to speak, of release before creating. And I think that comes from doing so much one on one personal work with people where I found that too often they're trying to get to, say, forgiveness, to forgive someone because they could understand. Like this happens lots with our parents with healing work, right? Where we see how their limitations and their traumas and the things that they projected onto us really hurt us. But because we're capable of seeing their humanness and what they didn't know or what they didn't learn, we are able to move into that forgiveness. But what I saw happening with this type of rhetoric was that people were moving to forgiveness too soon. And as a result of moving to forgiveness too soon, they never got to validate their own hurt or their own feelings or, what struggle it caused them as a result of those experiences, those events, and even that environment that they grew up in. So even when I'm training my hypnosis practitioners, part of my 7-step plan that I give them to work with any person with any issue, pretty much, is always about releasing and creating. Because what happens is when we acknowledge, right? Because releasing can be simply feeling to heal. We have a ton of processes in hypnosis for release: untightening, washing away, wiping away, burning away, clearing away. And if we think about the tower, which is the tarot card that's really about how destruction brings healing, right? Even think about a healing crisis and how stuff could like come out of your skin or illness could come up in order to heal. This is what we're looking at with release and create. Because when we are releasing, we're essentially making room for new. So you could think of it like a closet that's got too many clothes, which is really mine right now because I moved into a place with a smaller closet than I had in Saskatchewan. And so I am definitely, I've got no room for new. And so, in order to make room for new clothes, I need to release some. And so, this is a very simple example where we can see clearly how, if there is no room for new, we can bring it in, but we'll be like really squishing it in. And then, how much attention is it going to get? And we can really look at this in terms of psychological material, because if we've got so many beliefs and so many thoughts about what happened to us or about what's wrong with us or about what's not possible, then where's the room for what's right about us and what's possible and what we can leave in the past? And so that's where the example of like forgiveness is beautiful, because it's not that we can't do forgiveness. And forgiveness can be a release. It's just not an effective release if the child within or what was suffered hasn't been yet acknowledged. So I like to do this for the end of the year. I actually do this every month because I I pull a tarot card for myself every month, and then I follow that and just kind of look at what I want my intentions to be for the month. And then I review the card in the month at the end of the month and then pull a new card for the next month. And so with the year, I do the same. And, it's always so fascinating to me to look back and go, oh, this is where I was at. This is what I was going through. And this was the theme. These were the themes for the year for me. But I also find it really helpful to look back and go, oh, I didn't honor that area for myself, or I didn't really quite bring attention to that area of my life as much as I would like to. And again, like I'm saying, this can be done in month to month, but I found it really helpful to reflect deeply on what I wasn't able to quite manifest or give attention to last year. And then especially look at, does it matter to me? Because sometimes we have those goals and it actually wasn't what we really wanted, right? So it's like, of course, life took us down another path because it's taking us where we need to go. And I still believe, even if I didn't quite give that attention, it's easy to see how things that I was doing were teaching me how to get there. And so looking at, the last year versus this year coming up, the last year for me was a lot about standing in my power. It had a lot to do with learning to have more humor around people that responded or reacted to me cruelly as a result of like sharing more my feelings and my truths and my understandings and what I've learned being a healer and healing myself over the last 25 years. And those were big themes. Those themes came up in my card pulls as well. And just this idea of really understanding that uh, being more, conscious and moving towards enlightenment is less about taking our beliefs so seriously. It's not that we can't value them and hold them near and dear to our hearts, but it's like it doesn't matter if someone thinks the same or feels the same or actually hates me for not having the same belief. And I love that as a learning because I know that a lot of you are hypnosis professionals or healing professionals that are afraid of putting yourself out there and with good reason, you know, like I'm still learning to have a thicker skin by watching those I admire have a thick skin, especially on the internet from putting ourselves out there. And it's natural for us to not want to be ostracized by the group because it used to be necessary for our survival, and it still can really feel that way. So I thought that was really interesting for me as themes. And the tower is also a card for this year, generally speaking, and the tower is my card. Everything that you've heard about me talking about the dark night of the soul, the feeling to heal, I talk lots about going through in order to get to, and how we can help people do that in hypnosis. But this can be a journey for everybody because we do go through the loneliness to get to the feeling loved or included. We do go through the grief to get to the pure joy. And the the system ultimately, whether it's inside of us or outside of us, eventually has to collapse in order for healing. And this has helped me so much then, and that's what the tower represents. The tower in tarot represents the destruction, right? The total destruction for of all, you know, of all that's not serving our highest good. And this happens within us. This happens with our physical health. I've gone through so many births and rebirths in my lifetime, and especially since I started my healing journey 25 years ago. And it's inevitable. Life is constantly changing, and we need to keep clearing out the closet for new. And so I did get for myself for this year, it's a golden tarot card of the Tower. This is how much it means to me. You can't really see this, but I'll also bring my cards and speak more to my cards for this year, because I did just want to come on and do a quick little update of what we've been up to and speak to the theme of the tarot, the Tower, because you'll hear me talk about it a lot, along with the dark night of the soul and this idea of just letting surrendering to destruction, right? Letting relationships fall away, letting careers fall away, letting paths that we've taken that are no longer serving us fall away, letting ideas, letting beliefs, letting how stubbornly we might be holding on to our beliefs fall away if they're not serving us. And this is at the essence of all of the work I do, because I have just seen over and over how many people's illnesses and everything goes away once they're willing to move on, leave that relationship, leave that job. I mean, I can't even tell you how many people have told me, I am really sick staying in this relationship, or if I keep doing this job, like I will have to numb myself with medication to be able to keep doing it. And sometimes, sure, that can be an option while you're healing and while you're working on getting out, but that can't be a permanent solution because you'll be so unhappy. And I do truly believe that our bodies and our minds and our hearts are always supporting our healing and us moving in the direction of what's best for us. So I love, 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 love the Tower. And I will continue to talk more about that. And then I'll share more about my cards for the year and my ideas. But just for you to know right now, this is still going in the direction. It's going to be more clearly set. Like there's this, which I call the general public and community. And of course, there's you hypnotists in there as well. But then there's the specific hypnosis professional area, right? So I'm going to really try to keep this focus this year on two streams. Some of them are obviously going to overlap because in the general community, there's still going to be the free community sessions. And that's in the text messaging community. And then in the hypnosis community, there's still the membership club that will open its doors again shortly. Plus, there's going to be the second annual age regression and past life regression workshop intensive, 4-day workshop intensive coming up for everyone that wants to be able to really utilize past life regression from the subconscious, which is like the hack, right? Because then you get to people actually go to things that they don't know consciously, and the healing and the resolution and the spiritual uplifting and just fascination that it can cause is amazing, along with age regression, which is something I used to use more in hypnosis, but I still use, like I just use it in a session today, because if there are imprints from childhood that are still causing someone to be unable to change their behavior, it's always going to be important for us to heal the child within so that then that behavior can just change. So I'm going to leave it at that because I didn't want any more time to go by before coming back and talking to everyone, because then I just get so many ideas. And because I haven't done like a "Hey, I'm back, it's 2023" video, then I just like can't get rolling. And I have so much to share with you guys. I have so much to talk about on the hypno side and the community side, which is also really subconscious and beyond, is really going to be focused on movement and money and more. So thank you again for being here. Share, like, ding, hit the bell, do whatever you feel to do. Comment if there's something that you want me to talk about or even do a session around. And hope this year is so far finding you open to the possibilities that perhaps you've never thought of before. So much love to everyone. Ciao for now. Bye.